Well, a very good afternoon to you all on this eighth day of national lockdown, level 4 in South Africa. My name is Mark Long, rector of the parish of St Andrews in Newlands, Cape Town. I did my first lockdown funeral this morning. I'm thankful that it's the first one I've had to do in over 40 days, but difficult nonetheless. Difficult particularly because of the lockdown regulations and those that require social and physical distancing. For the bereaved, a hug, the touch of a friend, a loved one, is so important at these particular times. And I could see the struggle both of those who were bereaved and mourning the loss of a father and a brother and a friend, and those who just wanted to comfort and not being able to do so. It was really heart-wrenching to have to preside over a gathering in this kind of context. But thankful nonetheless that we're able to gather, that at least 50 people can be part of such a gathering, and important in terms of being able to say goodbye to those that have been so much and deeply part of life. It struck me too at the same time as we have a number of parishioners who are struggling with terminal illness. We have 2 at the moment in hospital, a space where even family are excluded. Really a difficult space. It just made me aware when we deal with illness in this particular context. Times when pastoral care from the church alongside the normal loving and caring friendship and ministry of family and friends is so important. In the context of the funeral, we used the reading from Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 1 to 8. A passage I normally enjoy preaching on, even in the context of a funeral. Ecclesiastes is a wonderful book. There's some deep and good wisdom there, particularly that really God is sovereign and that human beings are free. And as paradoxical as that seems, chapter 3, I think, particularly helps understand that they're kind of the two on the continuum of life. They're those polarities of birth and death. None of us have had any choice about our births. We arrived. And as much as modern science would seek to help us delay death, we don't have much choice about that either. But Ecclesiastes would suggest that in between that, there is this wonderful space of life in which we have huge levels of choice. There are times when it's good to do this, and there are times when it's good to do something else. Sometimes we're not in control necessarily of all of that, but that we have an opportunity to make choices. And one of the choices is to live life to the best of our abilities within the constraints that life often throws at us. It speaks, Ecclesiastes 3 speaks of the different seasons. And it struck me as I was preaching this morning that the season of lockdown is one of those more difficult and hard times to actually really live out our faith meaningfully. It's so easy to get caught up in the little things that we're missing. Find myself frustrated that our exercise time is early in the morning. I'm really dislike getting up before the sun and need to if I want to exercise. It's easy to moan about that. But today just reminded me that there are others coping with much more difficult things in their lives. And particularly here, the context of illness and death. If one goes into the townships and other things, the ability to live with this lockdown has all sorts of very different and even more difficult challenges. And so I just reminded myself that I need to actually be thankful. And the small things that are irritating and frustrating to me really are nothing in comparison to what others are coping with in the reality of daily life. And I need to be thankful for what I have, but also prayerful for others, caring for others, and finding levels of empathy and compassion that perhaps I don't easily normally share out, but to find those and to be caring in the manner in which I both experience life and perceive life, but also share that with others. God bless.